Hey guys, welcome aboard if you're new, welcome back if you're not, welcome home if that's how you happen to feel today. As always, we are talking about how this resonates for you in line with this channel, these messages, etc., etc. I am not, a comment person, but I am using a different setup, and I would love to know if the sound is okay. So if I could get a little tiny bit of feedback, that would be awesome. So let's get right into it. As always, we are talking about what's up for the week of the 12th through the 18th of June, 2023. Honestly, let's just do it. So we start the week with an Aries moon, right? And early on Monday morning, we have a trine to Mars, a conjunction with Chiron, and a sextile to the Sun in Gemini. So Monday is a get shit done kind of day, right? Be ready to move and groove. Give yourself permission to work today, and get your business done early, because after dinner, the key is going to be to resist the urge to tell or retell, right? Shape or reshape any of those self-stories that we tell that paint a picture that's kind of less than, right, when it comes to what you actually accomplished today. And here's the deal. As you close your eyes tonight, please be sure to congratulate yourself on the things that you did. And if you must note the things that you did not do, simply use them to plan better for next time, right? Throwing cards. All right, Tuesday, the 13th, Venus, very early in the morning in Leo, will quincunx Saturn in Pisces, and then the Aries moon squares Pluto, still in retrograde, at 1:27 p.m. Central Time, and a very short 4 minutes later, the moon elbows her way into Taurus. So it's kind of antithetical to Monday, right? Tuesday shows up with baggage, with challenges. Your feelings and your emotions can feel heavier, right? Weightier than normal. So be mindful, right? Just be mindful. Early in the day, sometimes it's better just to keep your head down and keep moving, right? So you don't end up becoming shrapnel for other people, or taking any on for yourself, right? And later on Tuesday, choose some meaningful self-care. And please remember that when we talk about self-care, we are not talking about avoiding your business. We're talking about self-care, right? So just be mindful. It can be self-indulgent, but self-care that's dissociative is not really what we're looking for. So just be mindful as you choose. On Wednesday, the 14th, that Taurus moon is going to conjunct Jupiter. Hello. And then sextile Saturn in Pisces. And then we have two squares. The moon squares Venus and then Mars, 7 minutes apart. And literally all of this happens before 5 a.m. Central Time. So Wednesday is kind of an overarching sense of underappreciation, right? It might really cloud your heart today. So you have choices, as always. So rather than allowing yourself to amplify those feelings of underappreciation, perhaps opt for action, right? Action on those feelings. In terms of self-action, right? As opposed to action that's going to involve other people, because that action that might involve other people could really echo much longer and wider and louder than you really planned. So dig into what you can accomplish, and then do that, right? Accomplish it, and let that sense, oh, hello, of your accomplishment be that shift of energy for you today. Wow, look at this week. On Thursday, the 15th, the Taurus moon will conjunct Uranus very early on, and then Mercury in Gemini squares Saturn. The Taurus moon will sextile Neptune, trine retrograding Pluto, and then in the evening kind of blow her way into Gemini, right? So here's the thing. Even if your awareness is crystal clear, you really might not be able to paint a cohesive picture through your expressions for the rest of the world today. Now, that, like I said, could be a you thing. It can be a flaw of your expression, and I don't even want to call it a flaw. It can just be a disconnect of your expression, or it can be a world thing, right, in terms of comprehension and how you're being comprehended. The key here is that it's okay to just smile and press the pause button on the conversation or the creation or the collaboration, whatever it is you're trying to get across, and let that exchange wait until there's a little bit more balance, right? So be okay in the waiting. Yep, makes perfect sense. On Friday the 16th, the Gemini moon will square Saturn, conjunct Mercury, and sextile Venus. So let's have some keywords, right? Extemporaneous, spontaneous, exploratory, unplanned. So on Friday, the 16th of June, please toss your expectations right out the window. Set your schedule on fire if you have to. Throw it through the shredder, because all of your plans are up for grabs today. Serendipity is going, wow, dudes, is going to have to be the key word of the day. And let's remember to pull that smile from Thursday into Friday. Sometimes that is the best way to get through something that feels a little rocky or challenging or stabby, right? So smile, it's okay. And on Saturday, the 17th, the Gemini moon will sextile Mars, will sextile Chiron, and then Mercury will sextile Venus. And at 12:27 p.m. Central Time, Saturn goes retrograde. Very exciting. And then at 11:37 p.m., right, we have a new moon as the Gemini sun conjuncts the Gemini moon at 26 degrees of Gemini. On Saturday, here's the deal. Get it all done by noon. Whatever you have to do, get it done by noon today. And here's a little, just a thought. You can do with it what you choose. Take a few minutes perhaps to write out some positive self-affirming sticky notes and put them all over in prominent places, right? Put them in your car, put them on your mirror, however that works for you, because you may need the reminding over the next while, right? Saturn's retrograde motion is going to create some big opportunities for self-assessment. We're going to talk about that. I think I'm going to do a whole video on this Saturn retrograde. It just feels necessary. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway, the new moon comes in, and the new moon is squaring Neptune and quincunxing Pluto. So this is really going to offer some opportunities in the limitless department. But squaring Neptune, right, reality is going to be a little challenged. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. But clarity, right, and serendipity, right, the same things that we've been dealing with all week long are also themed into this new moon. So really embrace your limitlessness, but make room for this or better, right? On Sunday, the 18th, the Gemini moon will square Neptune really early in the morning. So load up your dream time, right? That messaging could come through. It might feel confusing, but because Neptune quincunxes Pluto, there could be some powerful messaging in there. So just pay attention. And early again in the morning, long before most humans have coffee, the moon is going to move into Cancer. And then that Cancer moon later on in the day is going to, sextile Jupiter, trine Saturn, and square Neptune. So again, minding your dream time. This is a day for deep self-care, right? So you may pop into some deep triggerings. It doesn't coincide with Father's Day for no good reason, right? So just be mindful, be aware of that, and allow those deep awarenesses to be your illuminations, right? Right. If nature abhors a vacuum, any place where you have a deep triggering is creating space around something. Fill it in and be mindful of what you're filling it in with, right? Stay open is also a big key with that Cancer moon. Resist the urge to close down, shut down, close off, guard, armor. Stay in your curiosity, right? And remember that what you're choosing to do is what you're amplifying. So be aware to lean into, again, those limitless possibilities, and really keep your eyes on the prize. And we don't ever get there by shutting down. So just kind of stay open as much as you can. Hello, thanking you. And yeah, just make sure that you're not closing doors. Make sure that you're opening doors, regardless. So let's get on this week, which is really a week of dichotomy. If you can sit here and look at this right now, we have options, right, as always. So it's a week to choose wisely. Let's have that conversation. So on Monday, we've got the Ace of Cups. We have the Four of Pentacles. So here's the deal. The Ace of Cups is an offering, right? We know that aces are always gifts from the universe, offerings where we need to accept with gratitude and then put things into motion. Now, the Four of Pentacles says, no, I'm going to hold on to all those things. I don't want to do those things. I'm going to hold on to them, right? This is a scarcity energy. It's a mostly fearful energy, right? It can be an energy of conservation, but on this particular day, right, this is going to show us where we're in resistance. So we talked about this as being that get shit done kind of day. Really be in it. Give yourself permission to do that work. And then after dinner, resist the urge to tell or retell any old stories that want to put any kind of shadow or dampening on what you got done. Those places where you're open. Resist that place to devalue or lessen what you did. And make sure that when you close your eyes, you're in gratitude and congratulations and celebration of the things that you did, not in blame or shame or guilt. So choosing wisely, right? Choosing wisely. On Tuesday, we have the Sun and the Eight of Wands. Okay, so the Sun is literally the happiest card in the deck, right? This is literally, I'm flying my flag, I'm super happy, I'm engaging with and embodying all of my blessings. And then we have the Eight of Swords, I'm so sorry. The Eight of Swords, which is literally a card of mental torment. This is my beliefs have me bound. I am unable to move. Now, as you know, she could move anywhere at any time, but she is blindfolded and she feels as though she cannot move. And so how are you in the way of your own blessings, right? We talked about this as a day that shows up with baggage and challenges, right? That give you the belief that your emotions feel heavier than normal, right? So if you're going to have to keep your head down and do, right, just be in what you're doing, keeping your head down so that you're not expending shrapnel or becoming shrapnel. And when you choose self-care, it's fully embodied self-care, not distraction, not disassociation, not avoidance, right? So just really be mindful of your opportunities and where you're shadowing your own growth, your own light, your own blessings, right? And on Wednesday, again, we have the King of Cups and the 10 of Swords. King of Cups, full embodiment, right? 10 of Swords, required change due to beliefs that are absolutely untenable. I can no longer go on in this way. My cognitive dissonance, my self-deprecation, whatever it is too much for me. I'm tapping out. I have to tap out because this is untenable. How do I move forward? Well, we talked about this as a day where you might have an overarching sense of underappreciation that might cloud your heart. So the key is to really be in line with what you're going to amplify. And if you need to, just dig into what you can do, right? King of Cups, how can I embody these emotions safely? How can I embody them comfortably? How can I embody them for myself, right? Again, we talked about being cautious not to act in a way that creates a longer term situation that's really perhaps cumulative, right? So get into what you can accomplish and let that be your sense of what you've done today, not, oh, look what I believe in error, because beliefs can always be changed. On Thursday, we talked about this as a day where you might be really challenged in your expressions. So here's the deal. We've got the Nine of Swords, which is about anxiety. This is about things that eat at you, weigh on you, keep you up in the middle of the night, right? This is nightmares. This is constant excessive worry, right? Compulsive concern. And then the Five of Cups is this card that asks us, where are you focusing, right? Where are you putting your attention? Is your attention on these 3 spilled cups that are here, right? Where are you looking? Or are you looking at these beautiful filled cups that are perhaps behind you, out of your immediate attention place, right? We've got our head down. We're completely focused on what has been, right? This is a past. This says to you, where is your past creating disaster and worry and anxiety in your present, right? And so we talked about this as, how can you really understand that if you're not able to paint a cohesive picture, right, it's okay to press pause and wait. Whether it's a conversation, whether it's a creation, whether it's a collaboration, it doesn't matter. You can wait until the time is right for that exchange. And that means until you can regroup your focus into the present, right? Because when we're worried about the past, what do we have? Depression. When we are worried about the future, what do we have? Anxiety. Both of these cards show that. And here in the present, you have everything you could possibly need. You're just not ready, or you don't have the capacity to look that way just yet. It's okay. It's okay. But knowing that you don't have that right now might be a key, right? Self-forgiveness, self-awareness, and self-forgiveness, right? So on Friday, we have the Chariot and the Hanged Man. Okay, fascinating pairing. So the Chariot, balanced forward motion, right? Using love and logic, head and heart, really creating movement through moderation. And the Hanged Man, of course, asking you to shift your perspective, right? So if you feel like you're veering off to one side, how can you perhaps shift your perspective and allow yourself to move in a different way? So, there's that little, you might not ride bikes, but there's if you're a bicyclist, when you're teaching a child to ride a bike, you have to teach them to look where they're going, right? Not what's right in front of them, because, your bike will always follow your gaze when you're a child until you learn how to navigate through instinct. And so if you're not able to shift your perspective, then you're always going to be leaning toward one side or the other until you get that flow, right? Which is beautiful. This is great because we talked about Friday as being a day of serendipity, right? And throwing your plans out the window, allowing your perspective to shift, because your motion will depend on that, right? So be extemporaneous, be exploratory, make room for the unplanned, and toss your schedule out the window, because you might be frustrated if you're trying to force your way through something on Friday. Saturday the 17th, this is a big day, right? This is Saturn retrograde. Of course we have the Death card. Of course we do. Beautiful. And the Four of Swords. So here's the deal. This is also our day of Gemini new moon, and Mercury sextiling Venus, right? So we have the Death card and the Four of Swords. Four of Swords, I love this card so much, right? So we have all these swords early in the week. And then we come here to the Four. And I always like to do the math on the Four. So the Four of Swords is this Three of Swords, which is always loss, betrayal, heartache. Again, it's our beliefs around that, because swords are always about your ideas. And then we have one sword, the Ace, that comes in and offers you the means to shift it. But you have to process that, right? It doesn't just always come in the form of an aha. Sometimes it comes in, aha, oh, here's where I was responsible for that. Here's where I chose this action. Here's where I took this course of action. And all of these things led me to this heartbreak, loss, betrayal, etc., right? And so death offers that transformational energy, right? That seed of electricity that is the spark for the alchemization of heartache into awareness, of loss into lesson. And so we talked about Saturday as a day to really get your stuff done early, but then take a minute to write out those positive affirmations in case you need reminding, right? In case you need reminding. Oh, by the way, don't forget, this is how we're telling the story now. Don't forget, this is what you've learned. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves of our lessons, right? And that's okay, especially as Saturn is going retrograde and we have this new moon. Don't forget to put your lesson plan in your intention. It's a big deal, especially squaring Neptune. It might end up being a little murky. So just remind yourself, set yourself up for success, right? Instead of looking back going, oh no, why didn't I remember that? Well, choose it from the beginning. On Sunday, the 18th, we have the 9 and the 10 of Wands. This is a beautiful progression, even if it's challenging, right? 9 of Wands is a card of, in this sense, we're going to call it awareness of what is overwhelming you, right? Awareness of the places where you've chosen to be in engagement with things that are not really serving you anymore, things that are too heavy, attachments that are too weighty, things that you may have once felt that you've shifted your awareness of, right? Sometimes we get very motivated about a thing and then it turns out not to be for us as we delve into it, and yet we don't know how to put it down, right? Because change is scary, release is hard, so we drag stuff around simply because we made a decision. Well, guess what? Life is about change. Life is about release. Life is about having the discernment and the wisdom to put down or let go what is no longer serving, what is no longer bringing you joy, what's no longer feeding your soul, or what has let go of you, right? So we talked about this as being a very deeply self-care day, right? And really being mindful of where you're experiencing your triggers and letting them shine light on the place that you need to open your hands, open your mind, open your heart, open your soul, and let them go. This is a Cancer moon day, right? And so no closing off, no holding on, no guarding, no armoring. open your eyes, see what you want, see what you desire, and follow that, because that's the way we're going. Your life is your church. Here's the deal. You're here to create you as a sacred vessel for the divine. Here's the thing. You already are. But how are you showing that? How are you denying that? How are you embodying that? How are you blocking it? How are you standing in the way of your very own holiness and sacredness, right? You ooze divinity everywhere you go. You have that potential, right? What are you doing with it? Church is not a building that you go to on Sundays. If that is your belief, you are missing opportunities to carry that holiness with you and hand it out wherever you go, right? You get to shine your divinity into the world, no matter what happens. All right, we have the sacrifice. 2 4s. Do you see all that shift and change? Do you see it? I hope so. Let's read this. Da, da, da. Okay. The sacrifice. Okay. Whew. To sacrifice means to make sacred. The sacrifice is an offering of gratitude from the heart, a feast of love prepared for spirit. In olden days, sacrifices sometimes involved rituals in which blood was offered to the gods. For example, in the Bible, Yahweh preferred Abel's sacrifice of one of his lambs to Cain's offering of vegetables and fruits. Perhaps. In Middle America, however, Quetzalcoatl, the Lord of the Dawn, came to teach that spirit preferred our songs and our prayers to the blood of humans or animals. We have a lot of swords here. And then we have this offering of your spirit, right? What's more important? What's more important? The sacrifice asks that you offer to spirit that which is most precious to you. Your offering will be sanctified, that means made holy, by the way, and returned tenfold. You will be elevated to the altar at which you have been praying and meet the divine at the banquet with a heavenly feast. You are a welcome guest at this banquet. Your heart is the only worthy offering that you can bring. You are a welcome guest. Life has been generous with you in so many ways. What is the one person or thing you feel you cannot live without? It is time to offer it all to Spirit so that it may unfold as it will. Do not cling to the old form or allow your sacrifice to weigh too heavily. 3 times I said heavenly. Pay attention. Heavily upon you. You have sacrificed yourself and your dreams for too long. Now is the time to rededicate yourself to your journey. When you make sacred, you open the doors to infinite wealth. Do not delay, right? What a beautiful confirmation of the energy of this week, right? And sacrifice simply means to recognize it as sacred. And you are your own sacrifice. You are your own offering, right? You are your own offering. And anything that you believe is simply a thing that you put between yourself and your divinity, right? It's all you. It's all you. Please look for at least one more video this week. Perhaps 2. We'll see. Big blessings. This is a big week. So keep breathing. Keep choosing wisely. Yeah. Big blessings, guys.